welcome back. Welcome back. It is another edition, the return of Certified Unscripted. I am one of your hosts. Our second one will be joining us in just a moment. I am Vera Jones. And for all of you out there that have returned to the show, thank you. Every single week you come back. And here we are placed in between in between what could be the very last game of the season. I don't know. Aces are up 2-0. Will they sweep tomorrow night, or will the Joneses represent my family name and come back and get it together and do what they need to do to get on the winning track for Connecticut? It's all what we'll be talking about tonight. Obviously, the WNBA Finals is all of that and a bag of chips. But we've got some other things going on, and to join us to talk about some of that before we get started and before we bring you a very special guest. We weren't quite sure. We didn't kind of tease it the way we wanted to, but every single time you come to Certified Unscripted, that's why it's unscripted. You're always going to get something new, someone new that's going to bring you more knowledge, more excitement than you've ever had in women's basketball. So joining me tonight, she is the host of her very own show, Swish Inside the WNBA on WNBA or NBA Canada. Savannah, where are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Vera. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, no, we've got some good action happening in the finals I'm sure we're going to get there in just a moment, but we got such a special guest on with us today. I'm just excited to dive right in, Vera. I don't know about you.
I want to drive right in, but I want to say something. When the show open came on, you see in the open where Ruthie is just sprinting full court, like just full court, to make the layup. That was me last night. At 56 years of age, I was killing it. I was killing it in the Atlanta airport. You would have been proud of me. I almost missed my connecting flight coming out of Denver. So I had to do that. And we're talking in the Atlanta airport, you got to, there's trains, planes, and automobiles, right? You got to jump on all of these different things in order to get the flight. So I'm killing it. I mean, I didn't know I could still run this fast, right? I get there in the nick of time, make the flight, get in about 1:00 in the morning. So it's been crazy for me, but that is my little tease since I was kind of talking about Atlanta. And I started chuckling on the way when I was watching the show bumper. I saw Ruthie. I was like, that was me last night. The Atlanta tease is obviously because who we have tonight has been the face of the Atlanta franchise for quite some time. Also a 5-time WNBA All-Star, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. You have the controls tonight. Would you like to tell everybody the very special guest we have this evening?
Let's please welcome Angel McCoughtry.
Man, what an intro. I love it.
Yeah, you know all about that Atlanta airport, right?
Woo, man.
Lord.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's ranked one of the busiest airports in the world. So the fact that you had to sprint through that thing.
And onto the train, and then nobody's wearing a mask. Unfortunately, we always talk about life being real when we come on the show too. My brother is living with me, and he is undergoing chemotherapy as we speak. And so I'm wearing a mask because I don't want to, no one else is wearing masks anymore.
Oh my gosh. No, actually during the pandemic, it was like it didn't exist here. Parties were still going on. Yeah. COVID didn't exist in Atlanta.
Yeah, and I've got a guy behind me on the plane coughing. I'm like, I was reaching my bag. I'm passing a mask back to him, right? So, but anyway.
You passed him a mask? Did he take it?
I'm a little bit interesting when it comes to germs and stuff. Yeah. No, he didn't take it. I didn't do it. I didn't. I thought about it though. It was in my hand. And I just said, don't do it.
Right.
But Angel, wonderful to have you with us. I know that we're going to have a ton of questions. People, as you pop in your questions, Savannah will be able to have all of that stuff for you. I can't even see. I do see a few comments.
I was going to say, speaking of pop in, let's get Ruthie in here. She's in the stream. You mentioned her in the beginning, so
Ruthie.
There she
hey,
is.
Yeah. Y'all see what I'm at? I'm outside the car in the garage. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Anywhere but in a stable place.
I'm in Sacramento. I'm in Sacramento and enjoying the sunshine. But I came here we're trying to get the Final Four here in 4 years, so I came here for an event.
Okay.
And then so anyway, and then fortunately I'm at the garage of a hospital. I have to go see one of my friends that unfortunately is in the burn unit and so she has surgery tomorrow. So I'm here. Okay. So hey, I'm gonna try to get it in. And I knew I had to get here and see my girl.
Yeah.
And so, I love my girl, but I'm telling you, get here and see that beautiful smile.
Oh my God. Thanks, Ruthie. Yes. All right, well, I'm sorry about your friend and everything, but I'm so proud of you, man. You're the legend.
Girl, you know what? Pass it on to somebody done quite well. I'll pass my torch on to you. And I was trying to find that picture of you holding Hopi when she was she wasn't a year old, like 6 months old. Now she's 13. She's bigger than both of us.
Oh my God. Time is flying. Time is flying.
Yes.
So jumping into everything that is going on tonight, Ruthie, glad you could join us. Glad everything is well, and definitely praying for your friend. Like I said, life is real. Basketball keeps us honest, keeps us in having something to smile about on a regular basis. Couple of quick tidbits before we start jumping in. We wanted to ask you, there's a couple of things. Swin Cash is being enshrined into the Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2022. So definitely wanted just to kind of get your thoughts on that. And also, probably the most interesting little tidbit that's going on in the women's basketball world is Brianna Stewart. Stewie is getting her own shoe. The Puma Stewie, I believe, is what they're calling it. That's pretty cool. The Rookie of the Year, and obviously a former UConn standout, now having her own shoe. Any thoughts on what that's all about?
The shoe?
Yeah.
Well, she's not the only player. Candace Parker has her own shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Elena Deladon has her own shoe. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Stewie. So, I'm just happy that women can have their own shoe again and, make some noise with that. We remember what? Cheryl Swoops had her own shoe. Cynthia Cooper.
That was the first, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That was the first. Yeah, the Swoops.
Yeah, so the gap in between that, it's been such a long gap before a woman has had a shoe. So it's time. It's definitely. I think Asia Wilson might be next.
Okay.
If I'm
I'll be first in line to buy the Wilsons.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some Wilsons.
Yeah, especially if they're in the colorway of the Vegas Aces. Jeez,
that's beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, almost as nice as the Atlanta Dream. I get it.
So, Angel, talk to us a little bit about just your journey. How did it all start for you in basketball overall? Most of us have the backyard with a brother, cousin, friend, tomboy type story or whatever, but everybody's is still a little bit different. How did it start for you? And, did you know that, was this your dream, becoming a WNBA All-Star?
I would say, I started at 8. And I just love to play. Unfortunately, it just wasn't a group of women outside playing basketball. It was just only the guys. So, and that's what I love to do, And of course, like you said, you get associated as that tomboy thing, which is like, what is that? Girls play sports. Get over it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I would say that growing up in Baltimore, that's where I got my toughness from, playing with the guys.
That's right, Maryland girl.
Oh yeah. So, we got that toughness, So as I gotten older, nothing fazed me on the court playing with the guys. And I remember one day, it might have been like when I was like 12, and I was outside playing. They were like, "Yo, you can play in this thing called the WNBA. It's like the NBA for the girls." And I was like, "WNBA?" I'm like, "What's that?" They're like, "Go watch it on TV when you go home."
Wow.
And then I started watching on TV, and then I saw, of course, Ruthie and Lisa, everybody that we grew up on. So, and then I fell in love with it.
Well, we already got a top question here, and I'm very curious to know. Like you mentioned, just Ruthie and everybody, but do you have a top 5? Like when you were growing up watching like some stars in front of you, did you have like favorites at all?
I don't like doing that because I feel like people like to compare, and I feel like everybody's great in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Like even when people try to do Michael and Kobe. They're both great, the greatest in their own way. Exactly. If that makes sense. So, I think that we've had faces of the league who have, been the face and have done, but you have women who haven't been the face of the league, have done so many great things that just haven't got the exposure. that they should have. So I'd rather just say, like, I enjoy people who really play with passion and who play hard. And whoever that may be.
Well,
so but can you give us, without comparison, top of mind, when you think who brings it, who brings that passion, can you rattle off a top 4 or 5 that when you just first the top of mind, who brings it?
Top of mind, I like Kim Peratt. She was great. You know, I like the way she played the game, because, like you said, I love that passion behind it. Like, she always gave her all. And mind you, it's not easy to give your all every night. People go through things in life. Things happen. We go through illnesses, but to give your all every night, man, that's special. So I liked her.
I love that. It's a name you don't always hear. I love that.
Yeah, I like playing. Sancho Little was one of my favorites. You know, she was rebounding at basketball. She was like a Dennis Rodman with an amazing personality.
Sancho Little, who'd you play for?
She played with me. She was a teammate of mine in Atlanta.
Okay.
Sancho was great.
I'm trying. You remember what college?
What college she went to? Houston.
Yeah. It was Houston. Okay.
Ruthie, you were always one of my favorites. You know what I mean? You ain't play, especially in that weight room. You was in there giving it your all.
Who?
You know what I'm saying? You.
Oh, you still does. Go ahead and show the gun, Ruthie. She still.
Let me see the guns. Let me see the guns.
Always.
Hold up. You said me?
Yeah.
I can't get the camera right. Yeah,
you know what, Ruthie? Yeah. You don't age. You don't age. Me? You could still play if you wanted to. Hey, she would give these young ones a run for their money.
To myself, I like to know that I got grit and work hard. Hey, that's the mindset. So you know what? And I like how you play too. You play with chip on your shoulder. Like you have to prove something. And I know you might not think that like I don't prove nothing, but you play like you got a purpose. So that's the difference. Somebody just talented, but you play with you play intentionally, like you're trying to achieve something. So I've always admired your game.
Thank you so much, Ruthie. I appreciate that. I see a lot of questions down here.
There's so many questions. I want to talk to all of our viewers. Yo, guys, we're gonna do our best to get to your question, but you know we only have so much time. So, but
speaking of time, real quick, I want to just see your face and say hi. I'm at a hospital, unfortunately, and I have to see a friend that have surgery tomorrow, and the time is limited. My heart's racing, you know, but I want to jump on and say I love you, Angel.
Love you more. Yeah, and I'll call you, Ruthie. I'll call you tomorrow.
Call me.
Sounds like a plan. All right.
Love you guys.
See you, Ruthie. So the last question was about your career. You know, what made you decide to go to Louisville? Thanks for that question, Heaven. And what were your other choices?
So a lot of people don't know. Out of high school, I went to prep school. I didn't pass my SAT scores. So I went prep 1 year, and I was signed to St. John's out of high school. I was supposed to go there. Yeah. And then when I went to prep, I got reclassified. So I got to be able to be recruited all over again. So I remember visiting. I remember telling my dad, I was like, I'm going to somewhere in Florida or California or Hawaii. Yeah. I remember telling him that. He's like, you're not going to those places. We will argue. I was like, okay, well, then I'm going to Florida. Florida's close. I'm going to Florida State. I kept saying, I'm going to Florida State. And they were interested on the time. And they called back and said, well, we have a couple girls ahead of you. I'm like, oh. And another school that said that was a crusher was Maryland. Because I'm from Baltimore. So that's your dream school when you're from that area. And when Brenda told me, like, hey, we got a couple of people. And actually one of them was Marissa Coleman. She's a beast. She's like, we just got a couple people in front of you. I was just crushed. And I was like, you know what? That just lit a firecracker up inside of me. But I went on a couple of visits. And I remember I went to Louisville. And mind you, it wasn't a school that you go to for basketball, for women's basketball. It was just about men's football and Rick Pitino. It was women's basketball. It didn't exist. It was just there, but it really didn't exist. They had never been past the first round of the tournament. Didn't have a big following. But for some reason in my heart, this is where I needed to be. I just felt it. You know, you just feel
Wow.
that thing. And people were like, Louisville. They was like, where is that on the map? I'm like, it's in Kentucky. Okay. But I think the rest is history. I remember when I got to campus, I remember I went to the men's game. My first experience. I had so much fun. And I was like, oh my God, we have a game tomorrow. I can't wait. And literally our game the next day, there was no one there. And it was hard for me to believe that not in college. You know, I played in high school ball in Baltimore where our games were always packed. You know, just like the men's. It didn't matter. People they just loved us playing ball. Right. I couldn't believe that I could see in an 18,000 seat arena, it looked like 5 people were in there. I could hear crickets. I remember asking at the time one of the upperclassmen, Jazz Covington, I said, where's everybody? Are they coming late? I was serious. She was like, this is it. I couldn't believe it. And I said, you know what? That day in warm up as a freshman during the game, I said, this is gonna change. I said that in my mind. I said it in my head, and it did. And that's and during that time, I didn't know nothing about manifestation or visualization or like what you think is what will come. I didn't know none of that stuff. But I said to myself, this is going to change. Now, how
did it change for you? How did you what was the process of seeing it evolve? Is it just because you started winning, people started coming, or was there better marketing? What happened? Because there's so many.
Yeah, it wasn't just about the win. Well, we did start winning, and it was something that, that they had never experienced with the women's team. Yeah. But it was something deeper. I think, number one, I worked my butt off, and we kept just getting closer and closer and closer. And it was just something more than just winning. It was just like everything. I was in the office telling them, hey, why aren't my jerseys out there like, his jersey? Why is this not like this? Why people don't know that? I was in those back offices, and they got it done. They did it because you speak up. I think women should speak up when they feel something. Worst you can get is a no, but speak up. You know what I mean? How did women's tennis become so popular? Right. Billie Jean King, they spoke up. How did we start getting paid more than WNBA? Yeah. So that's kind of what happened. And I remember when Coach Walls came in, I was in the gym late at night shooting, and he said, "You want to go to Final Four?" I said, "Yes, that's my dream." He said, "Bring your teammates in here with you." And I was like, "What?" Yeah, he's like, "You got to get your teammates on the same focus you have." I was like, I didn't even think of that. I started bringing them in. We was in there late at night, all of us. Hey, come with me this night, or this player, come. You got homework? All right, tomorrow we'll go. And literally, we went to a Final Four national championship when nobody ever thought.
Yeah, where did they come from? Well, that's good. That's good back office story. That's great. Somebody special is in the house. It's not the GM. It's PT from DC.
Another legend. Penny.
What up, Angel? How you doing? Let me first say I wasn't going to miss this show because it was you, Angel, but they all on the East Coast and in Canada. I'm on the West Coast, and Boo had to work today. I had to put in some work, and I just got it done. And I said, let me hop on because I didn't want to miss you because you're one of my favorite players and
man,
one of the best ballers, the ball in the league. So I'm gonna just sit here and listen until I catch up. But hey, thank you for being on this show because you got that mad game, right?
Anything for y'all, really. Anything, anytime, anywhere, any place.
So what I miss, y'all? Fill me in. I don't want to be asking the same question. What's going? Oh, there you go.
Now that the GM is here, the one thing that we could do, we'll segue real quick because we've got some great questions coming in that I'm sure Savannah's going to be popping those questions in the chat. But what we didn't do off the top is we didn't talk about the games, right? I was running through an airport looking like Ruthie, basically running through the airport in Denver into the Atlanta airport, trying to get my connection to get back home last night. So I did not get to see. So I'm just reading stats. What were your thoughts on the game, Penny? Your thoughts on the game, Angel?
Penny, I'll let you go first.
You want to go first? You're the guy.
I played for the Aces for 2 years, and I got to see, the growth. They were young. They were learning how to be leaders. They were learning how to be vocal. So I got to experience that part of it. And I think they finally got over that hump. now watching the growth of Asia, she's the ultimate leader now.
Wow.
Wow. She was so quiet. she would hardly make a peep, man. Now to see her, like, she just knows how to do it now. She knows how to do it. And that's why they had brought me in, to kind of teach that part of it. And I felt like, I came in and I did my job with that. And now I'm excited to really see them get over that hump and win this thing. So they're real close.
I read a piece, Penny, before you go, just catching up on things where I guess after game one, apparently Asia went in Kelsey Plum's face in the locker room and said for her to get her poo-poo, except she didn't say poo-poo. She said, get your poo-poo together, right? And she came out, dropped 20. So that's a motivator. So it's interesting to hear you, Angel, say that she was quiet and
she would have never done that before.
Face, bring it.
I'm actually kind of shocked to hear that. Like, I like that because that's something I would do. I love it.
Yeah, well, you taught her well. Then you taught her.
Yeah, well. Because it's like you can't take it personal. We're here for the common goal, and that's why I used to tell them, like, don't take these times for granted because it takes years sometimes for people to get back. I'm like, you don't know if you'll come back. You can't take it for granted. And last year when I was there to watch the devastation of them being so close to lose to Phoenix, they never got over that. I couldn't play because I was injured, but I watched them hurt. And now sometimes you got to go through the hard time to go through that storm to be a champion. So
I need her to come over and tell me to get my poop together so I can lose about 30 pounds. I need somebody in my face telling me to do it.
I was so busy today, I ain't had time to eat nothing. I grabbed this before I came in here. What I need them to do is get the snack room out the office, okay? I need them to get that out of here. But speaking of what Angel was speaking on, whenever you're a team, is what I said before, it takes you a minute to get over the hump. And, the sun done been there. The aces done, like you said, Angel fell short a little bit. Now people gonna kill me, and this thing is about to light up. But you're not on the chat, Savannah. But Vera, Vera, you saw what I sent. What I thought the series was gonna be, weren't you in there?
Yeah.
And what did I say?
You said 3-0. I think we said it was going to go 4. You said it was going to go 3-0 this week.
And I love Kurt. I think Kurt is an awesome coach. I think he got a great team. I think all that, but you still need that point guard. And Chelsea Gray is the doo-doo, or however you want to call it. I think that she's playing very, very well, and I do believe that these games have been so close that Connecticut could get one of them. I wasn't saying that they were a bad team to be in the finals. I was judging my prediction so people know out there where I was coming from, is that they were playing so well. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take you're going to have to beat them because they're not going to beat themselves, right? You're going to have to beat them. I thought they got over the hump, not winning not one game in Seattle, but 2. So they're going to be used to playing in a hostile crowd. You know what I'm saying? And like Angel said, Asia just became of age. Chelsea's balling right now, and they got the best dynamic duo there. Well, I would say they got a quadruple because Young's playing great. Kelsey Plum is hitting 3, but more importantly, Kelsey Plum is playing both sides of the ball. He's playing defense, and now they got Hamby back. And one thing Kia Stokes is doing, she's doing well, but Hamby adds a different dimension where Hamby's going to add them points that they probably would have been missing. That Kia's playing great defense but not scoring, and Becky got them playing good basketball. And I'm sure, and then my girl Raquana, look at what Raquana did up in Seattle. Seattle was trying to stick the dagger in them, but they couldn't because Raquana, before Kelsey Plum was hitting her threes, Raquana would come in and make up the difference and hit hers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you got a problem now because you got, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't even seen a box score, but I guarantee you at least 4 of them were in double figures. And Chelsea's controlling the people of the game, and you have to have, and like I say, I think Hardeman and I done had Odyssey, but Chelsea's playing on another level. And I'm gonna tell you what I said as her former GM. I was looking there and I go, wow, because it's like I told you guys on that show before. I used to tell Chelsea, as good as NECA is, as good as Candace is, this team is Chelsea Gray's. And in Chelsea, until you step up and take that place, we're going to continue to struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because a guard is the head of the horse. And what I see from her is it's like a light bulb don't went off. They done pissed her off by not making the All-Star team. And Chelsea's showing you that I'm legit. And the great thing about Chelsea that I always say is she's an amazing person. And Asia might have been the perfect star to be with her. We're not in Chelsea's ear. She's humble enough to let Chelsea lead. But Chelsea's also humble enough to know that it's Asia's team. You know, if you want to get into that dynamic, and that's why they make such a great team. And you forget Chelsea Cole was playing MVP basketball. And then Young was killing, and now it's going to be tough to beat them. And I picked them to beat Connecticut in 3. And people are going to be like, Penny, you crazy, but no, I'm not, because I done seen it before.
I was reading somebody's commentary, I can't remember now, but they were basically saying that, you know, of course, like even in our chat right here, all of our comments coming in, they're dogging my Joneses. Leave my cousins alone, right? They're Jonquel Jones needs to get a butthole and blah, 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 right? I get it. But what they were saying was it's not so much that Connecticut is playing bad, like stat for stat. You look at it. I mean, Jonquel's still dropping 16 and 10. It's that the aces have gelled just that well. And kind of to your point, or exactly to your point, you're going to have to bring a special game to beat that team, because it is a team, because Asia, Chelsea, all of them, every last one of them, Kelsey brings that game. Young, each one of them knows their role, and they're playing at such a heightened level right now. They're just hard to beat. So
they're a super team. They're a super team. That's like that's the big 3 right there. They're all clicking at the same time. I think we're seeing the best of Kelsey Plum like coming out right now, which is like the worst time if you're the Sun for a team to peak, for one of the stars to have their best playoff performances in the finals against you. And so like as you mentioned, like Asia got in her face and she spoke up and was a leader. And actually Kelsey was like, she was receptive to it, right? Like you would think that would create hostility, but instead that actually came like together, and she was on her poo poo.
Look, I'm trying to cut back.
I date a reverend. And that's why my potty mouth. I'm trying to fix it. Right. I'm like, I gotta fix
that. You better send them over here. But anyway,
same.
I want to make sure
he watches the show, and I'm like, I
want to make sure we get in, because I don't want to shortchange my girl Jackie Young. That's a quadruple. They look like Houston back in the day when people called it the big 3 with Tina, Swoops, and Cheryl, but they forget that they had Jennifer Arcane, Monica Lamb. They had some great people coming off the bench. And Jackie Young has had an extraordinary. They actually got a quadruple, because even when Kelsey wasn't hitting no threes, Jackie been balling. Jackie been consistent the whole playoff series, you know. And I just don't want to shortchange my girl. So like I say, you got to play at a high level to beat them. And it can't be like your average beat them, because you see they don't weather every storm. Connecticut come charging back all the time, but when they need that point, and this is what I'm saying about a point guard, when they need that bucket, you got to know where to go. And I like Jonquel Jones, and I know, you know, they got those last names, but 16 and 10 ain't good enough in the finals, boo. You got to bring that 25 or that 30. Brianna Stewart showed you when she was trying to win for Seattle, what she bought 27 in the first half.
So let me ask you this, then spin it this way.
You ain't gonna get it. If you want to do something great, you got to do something you've never done before. And if you doing what you consistently doing, it ain't getting done. 16 and 10, she can get that with her eyes closed. That's what I used to say to CP. CP, but you bringing me the fans may be like, oh, you got 20. No, CP, you can lead this league and assist if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And Jackwell, like I say, once you had the MVP, you can't go back to being your average Joe. That's good, but in a series like this, you got to be phenomenal. Period.
So break down, what does phenomenal look like then? What does Connecticut have to do?
I'm gonna tell you,
in order for them to get, because we got some people who believe,
You know who my favorite player is on Connecticut right now, and I love me some Noah Bonner. That's just different. Favorite player on my team, people ain't gonna like it. I love Elisa Thomas, because Elisa Thomas, like, if you're gonna beat me, you're gonna take an ass
football
kick.
Player.
And she's bringing the heat.
Going down. Right.
I don't know.
I say the Aces have it now. Erica Handy to come in to battle that kind of neutralizes it a little bit, you know? So she can't just beat up on, you know, Asia. Because I'm impressed with Asia. Like I say, in the Seattle series, she went against 3 different great post players. Brianna, Magaball, I'm screwing her name up, and Tina Charles. You know what I'm saying? Now when you throw Hamby in there, Kia Stokes ain't gonna make those little bunnies, or Chelsea, she could throw the no-look pass to Derek and Hamby. Hamby's scoring points. You know, now you got to stay home. Like defensively, you got to stay home because Hamby's gonna hit that. If you leave her, Chelsea's gonna find it, gonna hit that. But I'm gonna tell you, I know a lot of people don't like Alicia Thomas out there, but my thing of it is, here's what I like about it. Here's what I like about it. She knows what she brings to the table, and she's bringing that every day.
Yeah.
And she's playing within herself. She ain't trying to get a different piece of the pie, or as I used to say to players when we get to the playoffs, hey, when we get here, dance with the bride, dance with the person you brought to the dance. Don't get to the dance.
But let me ask this.
Hold on.
And that's why I thought Connecticut lost a couple of years ago. They got there when they got Alicia back in there.
Hold on.
I'm gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing else about this.
I just want to ask. I just got a question for you, Penny. You don't think players that try to play like football players always wind up getting hurt?
Well, I don't know about that. My thing is, if she get hurt, I mean, they do get hurt in the NFL. Hey, Angie, that would be my answer. That they do get hurt in the NFL, don't they?
Lord have mercy. I don't know. I think focus on the art of basketball.
Angel, and she is. But the point is, haven't she been playing like that ever since we met her?
Yeah, but I just don't think that's basketball for me.
Different?
No, I don't expect nothing different. But I think it gets in the way of what you came to accomplish.
But see, I think that's her because you got to go back in time. Let me tell you what I used to say, and I'm gonna give you the perfect example. Okay, if you go back in time, Delisha Milton Jones, who had two names, Sunshine and D Nasty.
D Nasty.
And far as I was concerned, when D was at her craziest, she was the best. She would ball out on you. You get what I'm saying? That's why D had that name, D Nasty, and she played well. And this is what I'm saying. That's how she plays. People may not like it, but she ain't doing nothing she ain't been doing for how many years she been in the league? 7, maybe, Angel? How many years she been in the league?
About that long, yeah.
Yeah.
But she ain't playing no different than what she did.
Okay. I'm going to give that.
No, I'm not.
She's going to get there now and be like, oh, I got some cotton for y'all. No.
I want to hear more about Angel's take on this. Being a recent player in the league, getting those blows and hits. Talk about it more. You said,
I just think that when you do that and then you you can dish but can't take. So when people start doing it back, don't whine. When you want to play football? Let's play football then. You get it back. Don't start the whining though. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what you do to others all the time.
So is she known for that? She don't want it that much. Did she want it?
Hey, all I'm saying is I think that the Aces. I think Connecticut is still won at home, but I think the Aces will probably come out.
I was gonna say,
I think Connecticut will get the game at home, and that's where I was going. Was like, but what does that take? Like, what would have to happen? Outside of a perfect game, who would need to step up? Is there an X factor? What needs to happen in order for Connecticut to at least get one win out of this?
It definitely hurts that Jasmine Thomas is out. You know what I mean? That doesn't help at all. You know what I mean?
Huge.
But I think that they have to show that emotional maturity. I think that's what's kind of Vegas has shown that they look unfazed. They just keep. That's what Connecticut has to do.
So you think they're gonna squeak out this next one? Connecticut?
I think so. I think they're gonna, they know how to scratch and claw under pressure. When it's time to get a win, I think they'll get it. They'll get this next one. I think
it's just hard for me to see the firepower. That's all. It feels like Aces are just clicking so well right now, and my whole thing is all like Duano Bonner, like where are you at? Like she had 2 points in the last game, and it just wasn't a good look. And I think she just got scouted really hard, but she's also one of their leaders on the team, whether she's scoring or not. And I'm just thinking
she only had
they might be able to throw the first punch in this next game, but I don't think they're throwing the last punch.
Yeah, I agree with you.
She only had 2 points of fantasy. I ain't seen a box score. I know she didn't play well.
But see, the Aces have the
2
Aces
points.
They have so many scorers. The Aces have so many scorers that they can cover. Duana don't have the same help, so it's like it gets exposed.
Absolutely.
But then that's where a good point guard comes in too, when I'm saying to make it easier, like calling, and I'm not knocking the guards because I think they're good. I do think that Heidemann another year should be ready after this. But that's where it comes in where if I notice that DeWanna is struggling, let me call a play where she can get an easy one, get it closer to the basket, get something there. These are the things that I'm saying in games like this. We know your plays, you know our plays. Now it's going to come down to who is smarter. This is a chess game here. And if I got a Bonner and I need to get her some shots, I got to get her some easy looks to get her some confidence real quick, as opposed to her, you just giving it to her to shoot threes. Can I get some slashes? Can I get you going to the basket? And that's where that coach on the floor mentality comes in.
Yeah. And don't forget DeWanna, she's up there in age a little bit, Let's not forget the rest of them girls, the aces are young. DeWanna, what, 33, 34?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she may be a little tired at the end of the season. She still play overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they did go all 5 games and had to fly straight from Chicago straight.
I was about to say that. How much do you think that mattered too?
That's tied right there.
Yeah. Were you surprised at I see some comments that are popping up in there, Savannah, about the I didn't hear what Kurt Miller said. I don't know if he made some reference to Candace Parker. Apparently there was a question in there about that.
I heard what he said.
Your thoughts, Angel, were you surprised at Chicago? Did you think Candace, knowing what you know about the league, did you think that it would have ended up this way and Connecticut would have gotten the win? And what are your thoughts about that series? I know it's going backwards, but just hearing your comments, especially about Candace Parker, what are your thoughts?
What was his comment about Candace?
I don't know. I've eliminated Candace, I think the last 3 out of 4 years or last 4 years.
There it is.
And they asked them, but he actually, if they, it's I want to be fair to Kurt because it was kind of took out of context because they printed that part, but not the whole thing where he was trying to pay her a compliment. But he said, well, I put Candace out of the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years. And Candace said back, but we got a championship.
But we got titles.
We don't.
I don't even understand what. I never heard a coach say that. Like usually just like, oh, we beat a good team in Chicago and they keep it moving. I've never heard a coach say that.
Yeah,
that's just that sassiness. Kurt, you gotta stop. Kurt gotta stop that because he got into it with Liz with that stuff. He got fined with getting into it with Liz. Kurt, stop getting into it with players. Stop making comments. Just coach. Just come for what the goal is. I don't think he should be doing that.
Yeah, because in any, I'm not talking about Kurt, because in my world, I always say second is the first loser. Not you finish. I finished second. No, second is the first loser.
There's lots of comments actually, and I don't know if you guys still want to talk about the playoffs, but a lot of people still want to get.
Yeah, let's hear about Angel.
Talk about Angel here. Now, Angel, you said that you're that DeWanna looks like she's tired, but tired. But I want to talk a little bit about you because you haven't stopped. You're like the Energizer Bunny. And I'm just trying to understand where you're getting all this energy. Obviously, you focus on stuff outside of the court now. You've mentioned it before we started on the show that you have a movie coming out, you have a song that's going to be premiered. I'll let you break the news on that one, as well as the fact that you also were recently trying out. You had a role with Team USA basketball. I'd love to pick your mind with what happened there, and sure. Just kind of give us some more insight with that.
Yeah, which question you asked?
Let's go. Let's talk basketball first. Let's do USA first,
and then we'll get all of it.
Can you hit some bars from the song? Can you hit some bars from the song first?
I want to hear it.
Okay, I'll get it to USA basketball, then we can hit some bars.
Okay.
USA. Just recently was there. I think I did well. I wanted to see what I look like coming back because I hadn't played all summer, and I think I did well until my knee blew up and swelled up real bad. So that's kind of basically what happened. It just wasn't smart to go over to Australia when my knee swelled up like it should. And obviously I'm learning things take longer to heal as you get older. Mm-hmm. But, I'm going to keep going because, I want to finish out the way I want to finish out. I want to retire on my terms, not on an injury. So that's basically it at USA. But I had a great time and I learned, what else I need to continue to work on and what things I need to fix. But I thought I fairly well kept up with the young players very well.
Mm-hmm.
Angel, before you hit your bars, my question was, because I was like kind of surprised, like how quick that divorce was in Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
What was that about? Because I thought even if you wasn't healthy, like let you get your rhythm, give you a moment to get your rhythm. I don't know if you can talk about that or not, but I was kind of like, when I saw it, I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I thought another team would pick you up, or were you just still injured? I don't know.
To be quite honest, I talked to teams after I left. Nobody was really, taking that chance. And of course it hurts because, you're a player I've given my all my career to go to a point where it's like people are doubting me. You know what I mean? So it's a learning experience for me. I'm learning the other side of the game now that I've always been a star player. So I've never learned this side of the game, which is interesting to know. What happened in Minnesota, I just think it just wasn't a fit on both sides. And I think Cheryl sat me down and said, hey, I don't know if you're a fit. I said, well, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Although it was early, so I decided to come back to Atlanta to continue to rehab and get stronger and things like that. So that's what I did. And I did talk to teams, it just didn't work out. But I think that's why I wanted to go to USA to kind of show like I still got something. You know what I mean? So that was that goal. But go ahead.
What do you think of? I'm curious to hear your thoughts now that you're not currently playing in the league, so this is certified unscripted. Be as candid as you can. The league prioritization rule that has come out. Brianna Stewart and a few others have now been saying that this might be changing how they approach the WNBA, like if they come back to the WNBA even, because obviously like a lot of money is overseas still. So I just like to hear your thoughts on league prioritization, and you've played overseas many times, so.
I think that's only for a certain amount of players. How many players are getting Brianna?
Exactly.
Right, Penny?
I agree with you 100%. That's where people be getting juice.
Yeah,
preach.
Yeah, if I'm a young player, I wouldn't listen to that side of it, just because you're not gonna might not get the same contract as Brianna Stewart or someone, and it's not even
McCoughtry.
Yeah, and the money is not the same overseas right now. And then you're talking about one of the biggest clubs now. ECAT is gone because of the Brittany Griner situation. They had a lot of money. There's a lot of girls who are going there. That's gone. Who's going to Russia right now? So who's going to China, really? Because of COVID? A lot of money has dwindled. So the only people I can see really benefiting is like the NIL kids. Okay, Paige will make more. Yeah. But once again, how many kids is that out of hundreds of kids, hundreds of thousands of kids? I mean, it's only select few.
That makes sense. Interesting. No, I appreciate your take on that.
Penny, what you guys say about that?
I agree with you, and that's why I be tripping, because we in the game and we know, because we be like, y'all thinking that they're playing 100 players over there $1 million or 500,000. And like Angel said, and if you go to Russia, are you gonna be what I'm being paid now? Because America ain't letting your money being cashed over here. So I'm trying to figure out, what are you being paid at? You know what I'm saying?
So Stewie made that comment?
Yeah.
Oh, she was just speaking for herself.
Okay.
So if I would have made that comment, I would speak concerning the general group, because that ain't gonna be everybody. I would say 80-90%.
I said that's maybe what in his best day it was probably 10 or 11 players, and now in this day it's probably 3 or 4, if that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I see a question in the chat saying Tamika Catchings, we had her on the show a little bit back, a few weeks back. She said you're the hardest player in the WNBA she ever had to guard, which says a lot. Tamika Catchings is one of my all-time faves. Who was the hardest player you had to guard? Or what do you remember most about the biggest challenge in the WNBA?
She was definitely one of them. I think during those times, we played nonstop. Everything was aggressive. Everything was hard. Every second of the game, which will wear you out. Yeah. Now these kids now they know how to pace. They load manage. it's different. You know what I'm saying? Maya also, she was a hard one because she never stopped moving. When someone doesn't stop moving and you have to, then their release on their shot is so quick.
Yes.
So I would feel like I would shut her down the first half, but by the time the third quarter comes, I'm exhausted, tired, and then she gets 25, 30 because I'm thinking I'm guarding her so hard, but really I'm tired now. Well, yeah, she got her 30, you know. So and then she get 30 from just hitting 5 threes real quick. Come on. So
but you're being modest though, Angel, because the thing I can say about your game and why you always made the national team, and even though like they asked the question was why we're who is the hardest you guard, I always felt it was a hard guard for people to guard you too, because you could switch from offense to defense or defense to offense just that quick. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt that you were hard to guard because great players are very instinctive. And they'll think they got you. You did that spin move, and you know what I'm saying, or in the open court. And the thing of it is, it's interesting too, because even with your injury, I would say like, you know, no knock on nobody, but like what you said in the huddle last night when they say Becky was trying to tell her players when to rest. Players of our decade and your decade knew that you rest already on offense. You don't rest on defense. You know what I'm saying? But Angel, it's very few people that play both ends and play them well. You, Cheryl Swoops, and see, then you got your Muriel Page and those people, but they didn't have your offense. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about, you know, you got Kobe Bryant years on you. That's why I was kind of shocked when that happened so quickly, as opposed to giving you a moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how many years did you play in the league? Was it 13, 14?
12,
how many?
12, 13. And I played 10 years straight overseas, no break, man. And never got injured.
Like 20, because you played both ends. You never rest. You always guarded the hardest man. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, and a lot of people don't know this, and they can go Google this. Gino Ariemo said he wasn't taking no Olympic team without you.
Wow.
And that's
when did he say that?
He's like, I gotta have Angel, or maybe I'm speaking like stuff I shouldn't be saying, but he goes being on some of those boards. He's like, I gotta have Angel on my team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know. Like growing up, I was a defensive player first. I didn't have. That's why, you know, when I told you, like Maryland said, "Oh, we got players ahead of you." That's because my offense still hadn't developed yet. I developed my offense at Louisville. You know, I didn't have a jump shot. I didn't, you know, I was good going up and down. I would get the rebound. I would just go like, you know, like a reindeer. But the defense came first and my offense came second. So when people were like, oh my gosh, she plays defense too, I would laugh because my offense had became so good. They thought I was an offensive player who played defense. When really that was always what I did. I always rebound. I would get steals. I would play hard on D because I love defense. And the offense came later. So once offense caught up, it all intertwined. You know what I'm saying?
Another player, another guest we had on our show was Shamiqua Holzclaw. There's a question for you that Savannah popped up. How was that? How was your experience playing with Holzclaw?
Interesting. It was interesting.
Do elaborate.
It was interesting. I just think maybe I was young during that time when I played with her. I didn't understand nothing about mental health or things of that nature. I didn't, just play ball, right? I think that if I had a better understanding of that during that time, I probably would have looked at things a little differently. You know, because in my mind, I felt like she should have been a better leader for me as a young player. I wanted to lean on her, and I wanted to be able to talk to her, and I needed her to put her arm around me when I was struggling, because I struggled in Atlanta. I went through a lot, went through a lot with the coach during that time. Went through a lot with getting suspended. I had a lot of things, and this is before Black Lives Matter stuff. So, because it was like when a Black athlete would speak out, we're troublemakers. We're labeled, and I was labeled for a while. And this is before we got to really speak out about that kind of stuff. But I didn't understand. Maybe she was going through her stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I realize that now. So I think that she's a good person, and I think she's a legend. I wish I could have got to know her as a mature adult than as a young adult. That makes sense.
Wow, that's raw. Thank you for that. Some people making questions about her not being in the Naismith. Any thoughts on that? I think there's a lot of things that happened in Shamika's career where she got overlooked, but your thoughts?
She should definitely be a Naismith. What is this? She should be a Naismith. And if she isn't, then that is a crime. You know, because you can't overlook what she's done on that court, man. You can't overlook that. She should be everything. She's done some amazing things. And she's definitely a legend that really helped the women's game back during that time. You know.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing. I know we got this question up here, but let's get Dion question up here because I want to hear that. I think his name is Dion Hoops. No, we ain't got to switch it, but I wanted to hear what she thought about that myself.
This one, harder, Maya or Diana?
Yeah.
I think Maya is harder to guard.
Ooh.
But I think Diana brings something like she brings a mental thing that just she knows how to shut people down mentally. If that makes sense.
She talks? Is it because she talks?
It's kind of like she knows how to bully you to scare you. People are scared.
Really? Yeah. Even in the W? Like that?
People are scared to play against Diana. And
wow.
It's a tactic. It's a tactic that that I've caught on to, that I get it. It works.
You've done it?
Maybe.
A little.
I don't know. But it's a tactic that works, and it's gotten her championships, man. Like, but yeah, they both are hard in their, like I said, we compare, but they're hard in their own way. That makes sense.
There was another part.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I the one that came from Erica about going back. If you could go back and give your younger self an important piece of advice, knowing where you are now, what would that be?
Oh, what would I tell my young, energetic self? To just relax and just everything works out. You don't have to try to control everything. Just when you learn how to surrender, let go and let God, or surrender to the universe, whatever it's called, like, life is so easy, So I would just say, girl, relax. Everything's gonna be okay. Just play and just relax.
So having said that, that for me is like the perfect segue of it. It sounds like you found balance, and some of that balance is some of the stuff that you're doing off the court.
Yeah.
When we were in the green room earlier, you had both Savannah and I like, what? Do tell more. Tell us a little bit about Lake Lanier.
Woo, child. So for all my Georgians, you guys know about Lake Lanier. It's a lake that people go on vacation at. It's a little man-made beach, and they have zip line and water slides and stuff. But things are always happening at this lake, and it's been presumed that it's haunted, which everybody believes because stuff is all like literally last week a boat was on fire. Another guy just died. It's always a drowning, and from people who can swim.
What?
People who can swim are drowning at this lake. So Usher's son passed away at this lake years ago. Like, yes, you can look all this up.
Wow.
So it was a black town, and a Caucasian lady said a black man did something or whatever. They came and they burnt the town up, killed people.
Like Emmett Till.
Pretty much like an Emmett Till situation, and they flooded the town. So if you guys Google underneath Lake Lanier, it's a whole town under there, cemetery, everything. So everybody believes that's why it's haunted. That they said the ancestors ain't playing with y'all.
Wow. I got chills just when you were talking about it.
Oh, it's for real. Like, so we're doing a scary movie, like a real movie about it. And then I learned there's a lot of towns. If you Google black towns underwater, there's a lot of black towns that are underwater. Not just in Georgia, like all over the United States. I had no idea. This is what I learned once I started filming this, like getting into this movie. So that's deep. Definitely look into that.
Deep. I say that like ironically or what?
Yeah, right.
Well,
exactly.
Literally.
But where can we watch the movie? When is it coming out? Like when is it coming out? Like,
it's gonna be in theaters in 2023.
Okay.
Wow. And it's called what?
It's gonna be called Lanier.
Lanier. Okay.
Lanier coming out. And so you have gotten into executive producing. Your background's in communication, you said. So you've had an interest in movies and film and art. So there's an artistic side to you.
I love that because I love creating things. you know. And then you talk about what I've been playing basketball since I'm 8 years old, right?
Mhm.
That's all you know. So
Yeah.
you crave the applause.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So you crave the applause. So when I'm done playing basketball, I still want to hear the applause.
Mm.
So I don't know how that makes sense. Like, good shot, great job. You always hear that growing up.
Yeah, validation.
I guess so. I guess so.
Yeah.
So I like things that will bring the validation or applause, like creating things, the music, doing the executive producing stuff. I want to continue to hear the applause. I love
Let's
it.
talk about the
So
music side.
movies and music.
Let's talk about the music.
Yes.
Vera, I think you're were you just about to segue to that one?
I sure was.
Okay,
I mean,
you take it away then.
I'm like this. I'm like a fan
Same
now. Like,
here.
I'm giving you applause. Like, all right, so you're doing movies and you've also done some. Well, I want to also know what other things have you produced or thinking about producing, but talk about the music. What's going on with that?
Yeah, and real quick, I saw somebody talk about We Are the W. So that's a documentary we just did. You can watch it actually on the it comes on NBA TV. And you can watch it actually on the WNBA app if you've never seen it.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
So, and you did that.
Yep, I helped executive produce it. So it was a really good doc. Isabel Harrison, Dee Richardson, and then myself. I was supposed to be the legend player. Isabel was like the middle tier player. Dee was the young player. So we kind of broke it up in that way. So it was a really good doc. It was fun to do. And then
check it out.
yeah, and then the music. I always did music, throughout my career because I found it being therapeutic off the court. Just getting there and create sounds and all that kind of stuff. And then when I released my first single back in the day, nobody was receptive. I got so much negative. The first song I released was like Baby I'm a Star. That was
Baby I'm a
song.
Star. You sing and play? I mean, play?
Not necessarily play. I'm more so like, I wouldn't call myself a singer.
Rap.
Okay.
I'm just an artist because if you
we're waiting on the bars.
Yeah.
Who would you compare yourself stylistically? Who would you
like a Pharrell? Because Pharrell's not a singer.
I got you.
But he's artistic.
Okay.
Yeah. And he makes good stuff, but he's artistic. Like
Tyler the Creator.
But they're not.
I love that. I love that style.
Yeah. So but yeah, so I got so much negative backlash on the first thing I released. All I kept hearing people say was like, "You need to stay in your lane. You're a basketball player."
Ooh.
It was so mean. I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. And my friend's like, "No, just keep doing it. You like it." I was like, "I really like doing it." So I just kept doing it, and now I just kept releasing stuff throughout the years. But now I got my first placement on an NBA game, NBA 2K.
Okay.
So my song is going to be in the video game. It's going to be out in January. It's going to be in the game. In January.
Does it have what's the name of that?
The song is called Legend.
Okay. I'm so pumped for you because I know when I used to play 2K all the time, I would download the playlist every single time. So I'm sure there's kids right now being like, "Yo, I gotta get that Angel McCoughtry song Legend on my thing right now."
Yeah, so exactly. In January we'll be on the game on the first update. It's gonna be in there. So definitely check it out.
How does that feel? Because J. Cole is on the cover of that game too. Because now this is where the music and basketball influx happens right here. Because I was on that. I was actually covering J. Cole when he was playing professionally up in Canada. I was the sideline reporter. Wow. Yeah, I interviewed him. So it's and he only wanted to talk about basketball. And now I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to you about music. So this is the world's reversed.
Yeah, I think that when you are a basketball player, all we talk about is basketball today. So you want to talk about something else, and probably him in reverse. He didn't want to talk about music. He just want to talk about basketball. But it's so much fun because now it's I'm glad I stuck with it. That's why in life you got to just do what you love to do, not listen to people. You know what I mean? Because now I'm on a video game because I just continue to do something I like to do. So that's kids.
There it is. There's the lesson.
You don't have your ice cream shop. You don't have your ice cream shop anymore, Angel?
Oh my God, I love that shop. COVID tore me up. I had to close it, but I'm gonna try.
Was it in Atlanta?
It was in Atlanta. We had oh man, amazing ice cream shop, amazing brand. But I'm working on it now to try to bring it back for next spring. So fingers crossed on that.
All right. Wow. So many different talents and so many different directions. One place that we did not tap into was just your USA basketball years. You're a two-time Olympic gold medalist. There was a question in the chat about the 2012 USA team from Tay Anderson. did you play a lot in that tournament? And tell us a little bit about Gino. The question says, was he a butthole like many say? That's the question.
First of all, that was the best Olympic team I played on. I want to put that out there. Number two, sweetheart, look up who the leading scorer was during the 2012 Olympics, and then you come back and let me know.
Okay.
They don't know. They don't know.
Okay. There you go.
No, that was fun. Gino is an asshole. He's an asshole.
Okay.
But it's what you call a good asshole.
Okay.
It's
what makes a good one from a bad one?
Kind of like Asia going into Kelsey's face.
Oh my God, you crazy girl.
But what happened? What was the result of that?
Right.
Results.
Yeah, it's results. That's what separates a good one from a bad one, probably.
There you go. So that's what a good asshole is.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, if they get the best out of you. And then there was one more question. I keep seeing these questions. Like there was one more question about, did you have some clap back with Draymond Green? Something happened with Draymond?
Because I need Draymond to get it together. And I told him, I'm the type, I don't talk about you. I'm never going to talk about people behind the back. I'm going to let you know. Okay. Draymond, he said something about, WNBA players need to try to do more to get out there. Are you kidding me? Are you doing, I said, Draymond, have you done your research?
Right.
No, you have not. You think we don't go to brands all the time? You don't think we're reaching out and we get turned down all the time? You don't think we're fighting and scratching and clawing to get, what we deserve? He's like, oh, my bad. Let me know whatever I need to do to help. I said, all right, well, let me be in your next commercial. I ain't hitting nothing back. But that's what I be trying to no, do y'all research. And like LeBron said, why women gotta wait to get drafted 4 years? Why can't they leave early? And I'm like, LeBron, I was the #1 draft pick. That's why I want to sit down and talk with them about these subjects. I'm like, they don't be really knowing. Like, LeBron, I'm a #1 draft pick in 2009. I'm about to make $44,000. I'm leaving early for what?
What? Right.
Like, they don't really. Yeah. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just, when you're in that world where you're making millions, you're in that world. Yeah. That clouded world. Yeah. Where they're not seeing what's really going on. Well, and that's why I'm telling them, I want them to do their research. I know it looks good for you to look like you care. I'm not saying you don't care, but do your research. Ask us questions. Why are you not talking to us? Ask us. See what we're going through.
And bigger than that, you're making, I'm just saying, any of them, like you say with the athletes, what's the last contract? 200 and some 40 million or 300 and some million or whatever he's getting. Invest in the league.
Yeah. So they're not thinking, no, they're thinking, it just pops in their head. They're like, oh, let me write this. It's like, just talk to us. Just talk to us so we can let y'all know.
Yeah. I think their heart is in the right. I mean, I can't speak for all of them, but I think their heart's in the right spot. And I think when they see it, what do you mean girls got to wait 4 years before they I was one and done. That's not equity. And but they don't understand the full concept. A lot of women's basketball players build their brand even in university. And then when they go into professional, they have a following. But now it kind of changes. And I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts on this. You kind of mentioned it earlier, but the NIL and how that changes everything. Because now, especially women's basketball, I believe it's the second most profitable sport so far in the NIL contracts.
Yes. Now things are changing for sure. And it's like, what doubted y'all in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like, where was the doubt? Because there was a drought for a long time where women players were just really not getting anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was a drought for a long time. Now it's definitely changing. And if you take the chance on us, you'll see it can work. Just like you said, it's a #2 profitable NIL. You got Paige, my girl at Louisville, Haley Van Lee. It's like things can work. Just give us.
You got teams getting money too, like Texas Tech. I know all their girls got $25,000. You got teams. If I'm a female player, it's like you said, Angel. And this is where a lot of people are not educated. Like, if a person's going to get $1 million, everybody going to come out early. But that's not where you're coming out to.
I'm going back.
There's no eligibility. There's no doubt. So it's like, LeBron, you gotta know that, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt. Of course a woman would leave if she's gonna get $1 million. There's no doubt. But for 44,000, no, son.
I kind of like this. Oh, go ahead, Penny.
Go ahead.
You got it. I like this question. I don't mind if you want to segue it or not, but Kenny says, Angel, congrats on top 25 players in league history. But do you feel like some players got snubbed?
It depends on what players that he's talking about.
I mean, we could pull
what
up the
players do you think?
I don't. I'm trying to think who didn't.
Shamiqua, Teresa Weatherspoon, Tisha Pinachero, just to throw a couple out there. I don't know if you're familiar with Andrea Stinson. You know, like these
went
were
over a whole bunch
wait,
of
Tisha, Shamika.
Yeah.
Teresa.
Yeah.
Teresa Edwards.
Weatherspoon.
Teaspoon
from
our show.
Oh, Kenny, that answers your question. Hell yeah. They should be in the top 25. There's no doubt. Was DeWanna Bonner in it, right?
No, I don't think DeWanna Bonner was in it. No.
Yeah, Kenny. Some players got snubbed.
Oh, Kenny said Tisha was on the list. Okay, then I got that.
Tisha was on the list.
Andrea Stinson wasn't on the list though, and Andrea was legit. Like, if you're talking about the period of time that what you were talking about.
Yeah, because if you're doing top 25, you got to look at the players who were definitely before us. Yeah, okay, maybe they don't have the recognition, but you got to look at them players, and then you'll bring the other players along later, top 50. That are probably right now, but you got to conclude them in there.
There was a good segue for me. There was also a question that popped up about you. Do you ever feel like you have been underrated? Hoops Nation asked this, but wait first, because I like stirring up trouble. Hoops Nation said he did his work, or he or she did their work, and in the 2012 stats, Diana Taurasi 12.4.
Oh, I was second.
Angel second at 10.9, and Candace Parker at 10.5 points.
I thought I
second, first, whatever. You still was there. I got you.
All right, but you see, I was hooping. I was hooping. So
you were hooping though.
Yeah, Hoop Nation be on it. I got a Hoop Nation. I love you. Keep you on women and basketball. I love you.
Have you felt underrated or not talked about enough? And when people talk about the best players in the WNBA,
sometimes I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes because I've accomplished a lot of things that a lot of people don't know. Like the other day, Stewie scored 27 points in the first half, right? So I get the ping. Stewie just broke Angel McCoughtry's record in the playoffs, right? Then Asia Wilson just broke a record, and then it says Asia Wilson just broke Angel McCoughtry's record in the playoffs. It's like I'm like, I got all these records, but no one knows that, right?
Well, who knows that? Right?
Nobody knows that.
Good point.
So you know what? But you know what that goes to? If nobody knows that, and I'm just saying because I've been on the business side for a long time. That's what whatever team you played for should have been souping that up. That's why you hire a PR director.
Yeah,
and absolutely. Those milestones, it's their job to push that out because it's all about marketing.
Yeah, it is.
Brings me back to I just want to say this real quick, and this, Angel, it's just like Vegas, like right now, and I'm not knocking that because this is what you do, and the Sparks have done it. You build a whole team to try to go win a championship, but what Tamika did was extraordinary when she beat Minnesota because that was like David and Goliath when the Fever beat Minnesota for a championship after Minnesota beat us, the Sparks. That's what I want to say about you, Angel. Angel, you literally, like what Kevin Durant is getting a beat down for going to, Golden State and winning this title. You literally carried Atlanta to two championships, and didn't have all the superstars that a lot of us other teams had, and that's why it's crazy that you don't get the recognition that you deserve.
Right.
Because you had to do a lot more than a lot of other teams where we could double and triple and throw so many people at you, No,
and that's true. And, and that's the part, I gotta live and deal with. I think that I'm happy. I don't take nothing away. I'm happy. I've been to the finals 4 times.
Got 2 gold medals.
Huh?
Got 2 gold medals.
You got 2 gold medals.
Yeah. So really, I'm grateful for the career that I have had. You know what I'm saying? But there's still some things where I'm like, man, I wish I could have 4 rings right now. I think like that. So
yeah.
But I'm grateful at the end of the day.
I wanna dive into something, and I don't want to. I mean, you could talk about anything, so I'm not too worried about you. But I know I work in equity, diversity, and inclusion with the Toronto Raptors. And so my focus is always on how are we highlighting our athletes, right? And so one thing that's been brought up time and time again is the attention specifically on white athletes versus black athletes. And even Paige Beckers brought it up in her ESPY speech a few years ago. And so when you feel like you might be underrated, do you think that race has anything to play into that? Because I also think about Sylvia Fowles and how she did not get the same love or coverage as Sue Bird this past year too.
Well, it always has been. Race has been a part of sports. If you talk to a lot of the black athletes, you will definitely see a difference in how black athletes have been treated. Like I told y'all before, my earliest stints in Atlanta, oh my God. When I got to Vegas, I was like, this is how you guys are treated. And I had to let Asia, Jackie, and them know. I'm like, y'all appreciate this. I said, if I would have had a franchise like this that would just appreciate who they had, and I'm like, oh my God, I had to let them know. They were looking at me like, huh? They have no idea. You know what I mean? And I'm glad they don't have to go through that. But yeah, there's been tons of stints of, like I told you, that when the black athlete speaks up, we've always had that label. A guy can't even bend his knee to speak up for racial situations. He gets put out of the NFL. They don't want us to bend on our knee to fight for what's right. It's so many things. So even when it comes to women, I think that I'm gonna just keep it real.
We like it that way.
They find it easier to promote the Caucasian woman. I want them to be able to know how to market the black woman. It's just as easy to market the black woman. Yeah, my hair is a little kinkier, but I still got that smile too. So so don't be afraid to market the black woman too, and dark skinned women. Right? So all the women I named that have a shoe,
Well, I thought it was crazy, and to stay on your point, and then I know all these questions, and I want to hear what you got to say about Michael myself from Hoopball Scoop. I thought it was crazy when we won a championship. Nneka was MVP of the league, and Nike gave Deladon her shoe, and Nneka was MVP of the league.
Yeah, and I remember
this won our championship, and Nneka left them and went to Adidas right after that. And absolutely, you so sure.
And I remember asking her,
MVP and she gets. I
remember that clearly, and I was like, Nneka, what happened to? She's like, Nike told me the time passed, like it was too late or something like that. They told her something like too much time has passed. So I was like, what? So that's the kind of stuff that should never happen. It should never. It should never happen. It should never happen.
It doesn't that doesn't necessarily happen on the men's side. That's for sure.
No, it does. On the men's side, doesn't matter. If you're good, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're a man.
And we had just won a championship. It was the championship year. Nneka was MVP of the league. I think shooting something like 63 or 67% the whole season.
That's crazy.
And we put Chicago out, I don't know, way back when at that time. And Deladon got the nod over Nneka for the shoe.
Yeah. So really, like in everything in life, let's get rid of this colorism. When it comes to the brands, when it comes to, just even Michael Jackson, one of our greatest entertainers. You bleach your skin to be white. What are people doing in Jamaica and those countries? They're bleaching their skin. Enough with this colorism.
Yeah,
black is beautiful, So, I think just that needs to just be getting rid of it. It's like played out now. Like we're still on that kind of thing, We got. I was looking the other day. These young black girls were watching the new Disney Ariel.
That's viral right now.
It's viral. Their expressions are like,
it's beautiful. It made me cry.
It made me. I got emotional because it's like, wow. When I'm young, I've never saw any black Disney anything. And finally,
Princess and the Frog she was a frog for most of the movie.
She was a frog for most of the movie, and we're grown up now, right? So we didn't get to experience that as kids, And she was a frog most of the movie, but they're starting to get it. You have to cater to all the masses.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. Like, I love that. I mean, PT from DC, she said it. She wants to hear some thoughts from Hoop Baller Scoop. Angel, how was it like playing for Michael Cooper?
He was interesting.
I love interesting. Interesting is the blanket word here. You have to dig deeper into interesting.
Yeah, you got to define.
Interesting has like 5 or 6 different meanings. So let's
just put it like this.
Elaborate.
My first
don't hold back because I'm on here. Okay?
Let's go.
My first 10 years in league, I would just put it was a struggle. It was a struggle. I'm not saying I was easy, but being a young kid that just wanted to win, I think I was misunderstood a lot. And I think I got most of the blame. I got most of the flack for everything that would happen. And it just caused clashes, So, I just think I should have had a better start in my career. That's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Which, so then interesting, because I'm not letting this up because this is how I roll. So then interesting doesn't still speak to Michael Cooper.
And these are stories I've never told anyone. I would just tell y'all one story that
all right,
it broke my heart.
Here.
So I just came back from, was it the second Olympic? Yeah, 2016. Just got back off a 8-hour flight. Coach Carr, she calls me. Hey, how was it? I'm like, man, it was amazing. I hear Coop in the back. Come to practice. So we go, what? Yeah, get up here to practice. So I'm like, I just landed. You know what I'm saying? I just landed from Brazil. So he's like, so I called our president at the time, Teresa. That was her name? I think. I said, hey, Coop is trying to make me come to practice. I'm like, I just landed. Like, do I get a minute to just get my bags in the door? So I get this long message. You think you're better than your teammates and this and that and that and this. And I said, you know what? I took the screenshot and I sent it to the president. And, I didn't go to practice that day. I wasn't going. I just landed. You know what I mean? But to get that kind of message, it was no congratulations. It was no, we're so proud of you. I think I'm better than my teammates and this and that. It was a long, just evil message. And I could tell that he might have got in trouble by me sending it to the team president, because I went to practice the next day and he was like, kind of teared up, kind of apologized a little bit and teared up a little bit. And I'm like, and I had to say, Coop, I'm on your side. I'm not your enemy. So we gave each other a hug and then he gave me 2 days off. But it was like stuff like that. It was like, why did I have to go through that kind of stuff? And that's why, reverting back to the girls at Vegas, I'm like, just enjoy how y'all have it. Just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Times have changed now. Back then stuff was a little different, but that's this kind of stuff I went through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow. This has been great. You've given us a lot. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate by having someone contemporary to help us kind of see what's going on or what has gone on behind the scenes, because most of the people, including myself, I'm far removed from even being a WNBA broadcaster. And I think I used to get all of that scoop, right? I used to get all of that behind the scenes scoop back in the day before your day. So now being able to hear a lot of these stories are not new to me from even way back when.
And I think that's something too, to say one more thing about it, is like, those things happen to the women, right? So it's like, you're not going to do that to the men. You're not going to treat the men like that.
Well,
you don't think so? I don't know.
I beg to differ, because
I'm not sure.
One is legendary. Isaiah, you want me to practice? I mean, with
practice.
You want me to practice?
We're talking about practice.
Yeah, but that was taken out of context. That quote was taken out of context, though.
No, I've seen. Yeah, go ahead.
I love the
full situation of AI. That whole quote, and I had to study this. He was talking there. He lost a friend. A friend passed away, and the media was asking him about like why he wasn't showing up to practice. Meanwhile, he just like lost somebody in his life. He's like, that's why he's like, we're talking about practice. Like, and then I think there's a game coming up ahead that was huge. And so he was like, we have a huge game also, like, and you want to talk about. So they caught him at the wrong time. I feel like it was blown out of proportion.
Yeah, but it's still funny because he's right. You want me to practice? But I knew him from Georgetown, which is my hometown back then, and he ain't lifting no weights. He would tell you he didn't lift weights in this thing. So,
but that's the
like,
men.
You want me to practice? You want me to show up for the game?
But see that. But that's the men calling the shots and what they want. That's not how women have been treated.
I'm not talking about treatment. I'm just talking about far as. Yeah, he was asked to practice. You know what I'm saying? Like to that point.
Yeah.
But man. But I'm saying, like, for example, with what's my God? What Fish did to Candace and them when they played Connecticut and LSU. You don't bench the best player in the world.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
I'm
what
the
happened
GM
with
You
that?
don't do it. I don't care.
I'm gonna have to get my memoirs for that one, okay?
But you just don't do it. Number one, people are watching because you got these superstars that people want to see. Okay, you're gonna bench Kobe. Kobe's been down 20 before. LeBron's been down 20 before. You don't bench those guys. That's what I'm saying. The way women have been treated in these sports. I was overseas. I watched a male coach grab the girl by the hair.
That's crazy.
This is the stuff that you don't do it. So now stop treating the women because we're women. You know what I mean? Any kind of way in these sports. I've seen it all. So that's what I'm saying. Like now I feel like stuff is changing, but we still have these stories in the background, man. You know what I mean?
I got a couple people be like,
"Oh yeah, happy belated birthday!"
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
No, you want to be more of a role player when you come back? Like some players are be too stubborn when they want to be old. That's a good question, Ron. No, because I have nothing to prove now. I just want a ring, whatever that may take. That's the last thing I need to accomplish. So, I was that in Vegas. When I went to Vegas, it was Asia Wilson's team. I knew that I left a place that was all about me, that I was the face. I left that, and I came to somebody else's team. And I still did my thing, but I was still able to help her. So it wasn't like that. Obviously, there's a possibility if I am still kind of like not physically where I want to be, I might come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? I think that I'm mature enough to handle it as being 36. I just want to be within myself. I want to be able to produce. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I was at USA, I was producing, then my knee blows up. It's like, another setback. So that's what my concern is not even if I'm a role player, if I'm starting, boom, I want to be able to produce. And if I can produce, then I'm okay with everything. That's just my concern.
Why did you take that year off, Angel? When you took that year off?
Because I had played, and actually now looking back, I wish I never took that year off.
That's why I asked it. Because I bet Jordan was just saying if he could have his 2 or 3 years back from the baseball. That's why I asked.
I would definitely have not. If I would have known how the last 5 years of my career would have looked, I would have never took the year off. I took it off because I was extremely tired. I had played overseas 10 years in a row, and I was starting to get zombie-like in the games. So I was like, all right, I need a year off. I need a break. And then I took that break and I came back the next year refreshed, and then I got hurt, and that's when everything trickled. So I would have never took that year off if I known how it would have went. So, oh my gosh. Oh man, that still hurts. I got hurt in one of the biggest overseas contracts for sure. Yeah, I had the biggest contract I was ever going to make overseas. I was going to play for ECAT, and that was the year I got hurt. So that hurts, and I'm like, Lord, make it up in another way. I'm like, make it up in another way, Lord. So I'm still waiting for that, Lord. Please.
Well, there's a previous question that somebody asked was your app, and I really quickly want to get to it because I think it's so cool that you are also an app designer. Wow. And it's about grieving. Can you quickly talk about that?
I don't know if y'all ready for that.
Ooh, we're ready. I can use it actually now.
So it's called P.S. I'm With You. That's the name of it. Wow. It's a way for you to leave messages and gifts to a loved one after you pass away.
Go on.
So obviously, our target audience are people who are sick. People have cancer, things like that, or people who have high-risk jobs like police officer, firefighters. So you can come on our platform. Let's say Tim has a son. Let's say Tim is sick with cancer. I'm just using that as an example. And he knows he doesn't have much time left. Tim is young. He wants to leave messages for Tim for graduation, for when he gets married, or in advance. And he wants to leave gifts for him. Yeah, he wants to leave. Let's say he wants to leave a gift for him until he's 50. We can do that through our platform, or anybody can be on it because we never know what life holds. Sure. But you can go in there and leave that for and honestly, I thought about this idea years ago, but when Kobe Bryant passed away, Vanessa found a gift that Kobe left a month before he died. Yeah,
no way.
You can look it up. I think she found a letter or something a gift or something that he got it a month before he passed away for her birthday. So I was like, man, I gotta get this platform out. That was just kind of You know, so imagine if Kobe could still leave messages for his little girls now, or gifts until they're 18, or like, hey, you know, or what if he could leave a message for Vanessa and say, yo, it's time to go date now. Go date. It's okay. In advance. So that's basically what the platform is. So once it grows,
wow, yeah, you're right. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for
it's
that.
Deep, but it's deep, but we want to provide healing, and also we will provide a digital will. So you think about how many families fight after a loved one passes away over wills and things like that. So obviously we will say it's not legally binding, but here's a video of someone leaving the digital will saying, hey, I left the car for Sam, for Tim, I left the house, just for them to see, oh, they were serious about, you know.
Yeah.
So, and
how did that come to you? How did you even?
It just can't. It just like
that's part of your creative side.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it.
It just came
I love it.
And I sat on it for years. But after the Kobe thing, and I saw what happened with Vanessa, I'm like, all right, I got to get this out. Wow. That kind of sparked me to like really get it done. Because I didn't know nothing about an app or how do I do this. So I found I have like 3 really cool nerdy
app design. You have to keep good nerdy people in your pocket, man. They know how to do everything.
Hey, Penny, you're gonna have to invest in that one too.
Well, I'm already, while you're speaking of that, you know, I have my bullying buddy down. Just so you guys didn't know about it, we actually, even though I'm a basketball player, my friend Monica Madrid, who loves football, asked me to be a part of her help and asked her to help her develop that. We did our launch party last Saturday. It was big. We had too many people with DJ Marsky, DJ for the Sparks, the Lakers. I mean, not the Lakers, but the LA Rams. Everybody's huge. It's called FIS, and FIS means football is sexy. You can go to the Instagram page. I'm going to give you guys T-shirts on there. And our app is dropping this weekend. And when I tell you it's the dopest of the dopest, it's a football app, though. It's something different
football
for me.
Is sexy.
It is. Okay. It's football is sexy. Check it out. The app is so dope. We're about to drop the sizzle on social media. And it's fun, like Angie say, being in something else other than basketball. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
The bullying buddy is sort of like you and Angel. We have bullying is to prevent bullying, and I don't know why it's so hard to get this app in stores. We have a bereavement inside the app of Bullying Buddy, like for children that were lost and stuff. It's crazy to me because our app isn't even out, and we have investors for it. And here, you know, and I want that to keep going in sports, but here's one that would save lives, and it's so hard to get it.
I love that.
We have a bereavement. You can put your kids in there. Matter of fact, Rita, on our next couple of shows, maybe I can put them both up. Well, maybe I definitely want to put football. When you see it in our shirt and what it's about educating people in football. But Monica did it because of sort of something in what you're saying. Her dad didn't have any sons. They bonded over football. Her dad died a couple of years ago, and she had this idea, and she put it in an app, and it's magnificent.
I love it.
So Rita, we already got the video for that one.
Let's make it happen. Let's absolutely make it happen. We're gonna kind of tie things up because I know we could talk to you, Angel, all night.
I know we're keeping you forever. But we are going to get bullied. We're going to get bullied.
And we're definitely going to talk off camera.
We're going to get bullied if we don't ask her about Candace Parker. So real
quick,
oh my Candace God, Parker, like 30 seconds. Please answer the Candace Parker question.
What was the Candace Parker question?
Oh, it's right here. It's right here.
Talk about Candace Parker's impact on.
Well, I got a question while y'all looking for it. While y'all look for that real quick, Angel, if you had to start a team and play with somebody now, what player would you play? Who would you pick on your team? If you had an all-star team right now and you could pick any player in the world, who would be your first pick?
Oof. First pick. That's a good question. I'll probably take Asia.
Okay, I was just curious who you would say. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Candace Parker, and then we're out.
I'm gonna put this right here. That's from Chris. Because between Chris and I think it's Baller, they coming at us, girl.
Candace, we got the whole fans after us too, y'all.
Like Miss Jenkins back in the 90s. You know, you're like, don't talk about Miss Jenkins. Candace is that person.
So, no, Candace is amazing. Like she's like you said, the impact of women's basketball, the face of it. She's been around for so long. She's still playing. That's why I want to know, is she coming back next year? That's the real question I want to know.
Right.
You know, I love Candace. Candace is a great friend of mine. We talk all the time. She's amazing, y'all. I love Candace. Nothing bad to say ever about Candace.
She's got her hands in a lot of things.
She's got her hands a lot, and she's an example for the young players of what to get into after basketball. Everything. She's everything.
Yeah. We actually just put a post up about her last night, you know, giving her props because she has done so much for the game. And I guess a lot of people on here feel that we have a little something towards her, but we don't, you know, we just say what we say from the hip if we feel it because we're unscripted. But we do give her props and we salute her for everything that she's doing. And I'm actually talking to Tanya to try and get her on the show, hopefully next week or the week after, in terms of talking about, you know, how it has been coaching Candace and being a part of that championship season last year and then this year. So, you know, we got nothing but love for you, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how we do it.
That's how we do
it. Awesome having you, Angel.
CP.
Awesome. Man, you brought a lot. We've had the one thing I can say about this show, and we've got to be somewhere. Rita, you should have been counting. I think we're like somewhere near episode 50 or something. Like we should be celebrating or something. Is
this the 50th episode and no celebration?
We're like
2 years, 2 years, you know?
Yeah,
we're our second year.
So yeah, and we
need the validation.
Our second year.
Amazing guests on this show. And Angel, you have just added to it as well. We can't thank you enough.
Where's the confetti?
Yeah, just giving us. I got one. I don't even have a drink. I got my cup here.
Hey, you know what?
Here we go. I give you happy beer. I give you. Oh, that's nice, Savannah. I like that.
Whoop whoop. 50th episode.
So wait, you know, to all the fans that we haven't been able to answer your question, and what we're probably looking to do moving into next week sometime is we're going to be sitting and talking with Angel. So we'll get to some of your questions and post them up in our on our website and just on our IGs and SM. So, you know, stay tuned. Don't get too mad at us. We're doing it. We're doing it well.
Yeah, we're doing it. All right. Well, I guess that's how we wrap. Angel, thank you again for everything. And to all of our guests, all of our fans watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. You can always catch us also on CertifiedUnscripted.com. We're all over the place and we love seeing your face. So, or at least having you all see our face, however that works out. When it comes to women's hoops, we're not new to this. We're true to this. We are certified unscripted. Until the next time, see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you,
Angel. Thank you.
Hey, Penny, you need to get into the fan control football.
No, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, it's funny because the app
Did y'all
that
stop
we
the show? Who's
we're going. I got y'all.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Who's on control?